Welcome to my channel. If someone had told me that my greatest enemy wouldn't ruin my reputation through rumors, lawsuits, or public humiliation, but by forcing me to become something I never imagined, I would have laughed. But the truth? The truth is far stranger than anything I could have guessed. Because the person I hated most, the person who waited 3 years to break me, didn't destroy my career. She destroyed my identity. My name is Armin Hale. 23. Confident. Competitive. A rising model, male model, signed with Glare Agency, one of the loudest names in the fashion industry. I wasn't internationally known, not yet, but my face was climbing billboards, street banners, online campaigns. Brands liked my sharp jaw, messy dark hair, and that effortless I don't care but still look good attitude. And I worked for it. I trained. I sacrificed. I fought for every step. Which brings us to the problem. Because the industry isn't just success. It's war. And in that war, I had one rival. Alyssa King. Poster child of perfection. The star. The favorite. Beautiful in that dangerous way, features sharp enough to cut, smile sweet enough to poison. She wasn't just good, she was obsessed, competitive, explosive. And we, since my first day, were declared enemies by everyone who watched. Magazines compared us. Agencies speculated. Social media fans developed camps. Team Armin. Team Alyssa. She was the reigning queen. I was the new threat. And neither of us pretended to like the other. In simple words, we hated each other with elegance. That's the fashion industry's trademark. Smiling while plotting murder. It started on a normal Tuesday morning. The catwalk studio smelled like coffee, new fabric, floor polish, and ambition. Models stretched, stylists steamed clothes, photographers shouted instructions like they were generals on a battlefield. I was touching up hair in the mirror when I heard her voice behind me. That voice. Smooth like silk. Sharp like glass. Well, she chimed, look who's still here. I didn't turn. Didn't need to. Alyssa always announced herself without trying. I fixed the strand of hair by my ear and answered, calm and cold. I'm here because brands still want me. Surprising, right? She stepped beside me, our reflections facing each other. They want controversy. And you are nothing if not a walking controversy. Her smile didn't touch her eyes. You look nervous, she whispered. I look fantastic, I shot back. She leaned in, voice low enough that only I could hear. And how long can that last? Her perfume, something expensive floral with a bite, filled the air as she walked away, heels echoing like a countdown clock. I exhaled, jaw tight. That was routine. Just another verbal duel. But what I didn't know. That was the last normal moment I'd have for a long time. 2 weeks later, I was invited to a brand audition. A major brand. The kind that could change everything. Rich budget. Global campaign. 6-month contract. They requested secrecy and mystery. Fashion but twisted, they said. Identity breaking, the notes hinted. Exactly my vibe. But the secrecy. That was the trap. The audition space was a renovated warehouse, once industrial, now avant-garde. Minimal echo, black walls, stark lighting. Not the typical cheerful beauty session. This felt like walking into a dare. Only 2 people were inside. The brand director. And beside her, legs crossed, eyes gleaming, smile venomous. My stomach dropped. What the hell is she doing here? I muttered. The director smiled too kindly. Like she already knew more than I did. We're launching a revolutionary campaign, she said, and we believe it needs 2 faces. Opposites. Tension. History. My pulse kicked. You want us, together? Alyssa's smile widened. Isn't that exciting? Exciting was not the word. Like asking a matchstick to pose next to gasoline. The director continued, voice sweet but corporate. The campaign explores beauty without boundaries. Identity beyond labels. The evolution of image. Neither masculine nor feminine, just transformation. Transformation. That word hung heavy. Before I could respond, papers were placed on a sleek glass table. A contract. Look it over, she said. It's generous. Generous was an understatement. The payment alone was life-changing. But something felt off. The descriptions were vague. Purposefully poetic. Too poetic. But you know that hunger? That desperate need to win once? To prove yourself better? I had it. Burning. So I signed. And that was my mistake. Because I signed without reading the creative conditions thoroughly. Because arrogance and opportunity blind you in the same shade. And nobody thought spirits like Alyssa and I, opposites with fire, could mix. But they weren't planning a mix. They were planning a takeover. The day after signing, rehearsals began. But it wasn't posing with props. Wasn't walking the runway. Wasn't wearing edgy men's fashion. No. I was escorted into a private studio. White walls. Mirrors everywhere. Racks of clothes, shoes, wigs. And every piece of clothing, every fabric, every accessory, was designed for a woman. My confusion must have shown because the stylist approaching me smiled like she enjoyed puzzles. You read the concept, right? She asked. Yeah, I said slowly. Transformation. Breaking labels. Duality. Exactly, she beamed. So today we break yours. She snapped her fingers to the assistants. And suddenly hands were on me. Undoing buttons. Removing jacket. Peeling away identity. Stop, I stepped back. I think you have the wrong idea. No, came Alyssa's voice from behind. She entered the room like a queen entering her throne chamber. You signed the contract. The creative rights allow full control of your presentation, styling, and gender portrayal. My chest tightened. Gender portrayal? What exactly are you saying? Alyssa tilted her head, studying me like prey. I'm saying, she purred, you're modeling as a girl. Silence filled the studio. Cold. Loud. Crushing. You're lying, I breathed. There's no way. The stylist fetched the contract. Flipped pages. Stopped. There it was. A clause. Short. Clever. Buried. The model consents to all identity-based transformation required for the project, regardless of gender alignment. My heart slammed against my ribs. But I didn't, I never. You should have read, Alyssa smirked. A rival should never be careless. She enjoyed this. Not as a colleague. Not as competition. But as a hunter. And I was caught. Either follow through, the director said calmly, or breach the contract. Which includes a penalty fee of. She slid a paper. My breath stopped. The number could bankrupt 3 lifetimes. Ruin. Done. Destroyed. Alyssa's voice floated to me, silk wrapped around knife. Don't worry. I'll be helping personally. After all, she grinned, stepping closer, fingers lifting my chin like I was already some doll to pose. Who better to teach you how to be a girl than the one you tried to beat? I jerked my chin away. This is revenge. No, she whispered. It's justice. There's humiliation, and then there's transformation. Humiliation is being laughed at. Transformation is losing recognition. Especially from yourself. They handed me the first outfit. Not a costume. Not some parody. A real, designer, luxurious black satin midi dress. Cut sharp, elegant, backless, meant to shape curves I didn't have. I stared at it like it was burning. You can't be serious. Oh, I'm very serious, Alyssa hummed. 2 assistants closed in, and the process began. Shirt removed. Pants gone. Shoes replaced with heels. Black stilettos taller than my courage. The dress slid over my frame cold as water. Tight. Restrictive. Clinging like it wanted to reshape me by force. Then the corset. Dear God. Alyssa laced it herself. Slow, deliberate, each pull stealing breath. Exhale, she instructed. I did. The string tightened, spine straightened, lungs protested. My reflection shifted. Not woman. Not man. Something in between. Something off balance, unfamiliar, unsettling. The wig followed. Long, straight, chestnut brown. Falling past shoulders. Framing jaw, softening angles, stealing sharpness. Makeup wasn't decoration. It was reconstruction. Contour carving new shadows. Liner stretching eyes. Lip gloss adding softness I'd never worn. 20 minutes felt like a lifetime. Then, they spun the chair to face the mirror. And I froze. Because the person staring back wasn't Armin. The eyes were mine, barely. The discomfort was mine. The fear was mine. But the moment, the shock, the breath lodged in my chest. "That's you," Alyssa whispered, her reflection smirking next to mine. "No," I whispered. That wasn't denial. That was disbelief. Because for the first time, I saw how thin the line was between one identity and another. Just some fabric. Just some makeup. Just some decisions. And everything looked different. I looked different. Too different. Too vulnerable. Too exposed. Alyssa leaned close to my ear, her voice poison dipped in honey. "You're going to walk the runway like this. Cameras. Reporters. Fans. Everyone." I turned to her, panic flaring. "You're destroying my career." She smiled. "No," she said softly. "I'm rewriting it." Just when I felt I couldn't breathe, the director returned holding another document. "This is your appearance release," she said. "Sign, and we begin marketing." I pushed the paper away. "No. I need time." "You don't have time," Alyssa countered. "We shoot in 4 days." My chest tightened. 4 days? To transform into this? I won't sign. The director shrugged. "That's fine. Breach the contract. Pay the penalty." My throat tightened. Trap. Checkmate. Then Alyssa delivered the final blow. "Oh, and Armin? The public already expects male models like you to be flexible, fluid, experimental." She raised her phone. A picture of me in the dress. My blood iced. "You wouldn't post?" She smirked. "Of course not." Relief. "Unless," she added, smirk razor sharp, "you make this difficult." The room spun. The mirror mocked me. The dress constricted like a cage. This wasn't a transformation. This was possession. I swallowed hard, voice quiet, defeated. "What do you want from me?" Alyssa stepped close, her breath warm, her whisper colder than winter. "I want you to learn what it feels like." She dragged a finger under my chin, forcing me to look at the girl in the mirror. To be in someone else's shadow. They didn't give me a day to process. Not a night. Not a single hour to breathe. The very next morning, I was told to report to Studio Room 19, Transformation Hall, as the stylists proudly called it, as if that made this whole nightmare sound artistic rather than humiliating. I walked in as myself, Armin Hale. Loose jeans. Hoodie. Sneakers. The clothes that never demanded anything from me. But the room demanded everything. Mirrors. Everywhere. Floor to ceiling. Front. Back. Left. Right. No angle left unseen. If hell had a dressing room, this was it. A chair sat like an interrogation seat in the center. A long table lined with makeup tools, brushes, pencils, powders, military precision. Mannequins dressed in outfits, skirts, blouses, cocktail dresses, casual sweater sets, lingerie, oh God. And then there were the shoes. Rows and rows of heels. Every height. Every color. Every reason to fall. I swallowed hard. "You're late," came that unforgettable voice. Alyssa stepped out from behind one of the mirror panels like it opened just for her. Wearing a fitted beige trench coat, heels clicking like confidence incarnate. "I wasn't given a time," I argued. "That's exactly why you're late. You're supposed to anticipate." She circled me like a shark deciding which part to consume first. "This isn't just a campaign," she said, pulling a tablet from under her arm. "This is a reinvention. You are going to learn everything: presentation, posture, grace, speech, expression, emotion." Her eyes locked onto mine. You will not behave like a man pretending. You will live this. A tight breath escaped me. This is insane. It's business, she corrected. And it's personal. I didn't answer. Because I was smart enough to know. She wanted a reaction. And every reaction fed her. A team of 2 stylists entered, Nora and Lisette, both excited in a way that said this is going to be fun because it's not happening to us. Lisette clapped her hands. Okay, sweetheart, first rule. Sweetheart. That stung more than expected. You do not sit like that anymore, she declared, tapping my slouched posture. Nora adjusted my shoulders upward, sliding a book onto my head. Balance. Book. On my head. Seriously? I tried standing naturally. The book slipped. Lisette sighed dramatically. Oh honey, we're going to have such a long day. They didn't start small. No baby steps. No comfortable wedge. No starter block. They handed me 5-inch stilettos. Black patent leather. Blade-thin heels. Dangerous. Put them on, Alyssa ordered, leaning against the counter like a queen witnessing entertainment. I hesitated. Having second thoughts? She smirked. No, I said, because even cornered animals show teeth. I sat, removed my sneakers, slid my feet into the heels. I was expecting discomfort. I wasn't prepared for pain. That's normal, Nora said cheerfully. Beauty hurts. Beauty kills, I thought. Stand, Alyssa instructed. I did. The world tilted. Gravity betrayed me. My ankle wobbled. The stylists giggled softly. Try walking, Alyssa said. Walk? In these? Where's the wheelchair option? I took one step. Just one. The heel wobbled like my courage. My knee bent inward. My balance betrayed me completely. And I fell. Forward. Catching myself on the mirror with both hands. My reflection stared back. Humiliated. Exposed. Small. Alyssa's slow clap echoed behind me. Graceful. Truly. My jaw tightened. I'm trying. No, she stepped closer, eyes never leaving mine in the reflection. You're surviving. There's a difference. Her words landed deeper than they should have. Because she was right. Every second felt like survival. Walking wasn't even the worst part. Your voice, Lisette said, is too deep, too sharp, too confident. Confident. I blinked. Since when is that a problem? Lisette lifted her brows. For a woman? Always. That sentence stung with more truth than I expected. Nora handed me a recorder. Say, hi, nice to meet you. I said it. Too flat. Too typical. To me. They replayed it. It sounded fine. Now say it, Alyssa stepped forward, as if you're hiding something. I frowned. What? Softly. Gently. With intention behind the eyes, not the throat. I tried again. Softer. But it sounded fake. No, she said. Another attempt. Higher pitch. Worse. No. Again. Again. And again. Until frustration twisted my core tight. What do you want? I snapped. Her eyes lit up. There it is. What? A crack, she whispered. Emotion. I swallowed. She stepped in front of me, close enough to smell that same intoxicating perfume. People think transformation is about appearance, she said quietly. Clothes. Makeup. Hair. Her hand lifted, fingers brushing a strand of wig hair from my cheek. It's not. I tensed. Transformation is surrender, she said. This isn't about looking like a woman. Her eyes held mine, unblinking. It's about no longer looking like yourself. The room felt smaller. Breath felt heavier. And yet, there was something else. Curiosity. A wrong curiosity. A question I didn't want to ask but couldn't stop forming. Who was I becoming? Let's see how you register on camera, the director announced. Stepping in like this was a casual Tuesday. A backdrop was set. Soft lighting. Ring light. Chair. I sat, trying to sit like they taught, ankles together, back straight, shoulders soft. Alyssa crossed her arms. No. You're sitting like a statue. Sit like everything you're thinking is written in the air around you. What did that even mean? The camera snapped once. She rejected it. Snap. Rejected. Snap. Rejected. Do you know why these are all terrible? She asked. Because you hate me, I replied. No, she said, voice sharp. Because you hate this. And the camera knows. I didn't have a comeback. Because again. She was right. The camera reveals more truth than mirrors ever do. She walked closer, lowered her voice so only I could hear. Everyone thinks the world changes when we wear a mask, she whispered. But the real change isn't the mask. She tapped my chest lightly. It's here. My heart hammered harder. I looked away. Because the worst part wasn't her control. It was how deeply her words started landing. Eventually they left me alone for lunch. I wasn't hungry. I stood in front of the mirror, still wearing the skirt, blouse, wig, the soft makeup that wasn't as dramatic as yesterday's but still undeniably transforming. I should have felt rage. I should have felt violated. But what I felt, what terrified me, was conflict. Because while the clothes felt wrong, the reflection felt impossible. It didn't look like a clown. It didn't look like a joke. It looked like a version of me that shouldn't exist. A hidden version. A dangerous version. A version that made me wonder questions I never allowed. What would people say? What would I say? What did this mean? And worst, why couldn't I look away? The door opened behind me. Alyssa entered. No team. No director. No stylists. Just her. You looked unsettled. I am unsettled, I answered honestly. Good, she said. Unsettled means you're between who you were and who you're being forced to become. Forced. The word echoed. You enjoy this, I said. Her smile was unreadable. Some parts. Which parts? The parts where you fight, she said. Because that means you still think you have control. I met her eyes in the mirror. And do I? For a moment, just a split second, her expression shifted. Not victory. Not cruelty. Something else. Something I couldn't name. No, she said softly. Not yet. And she walked out. Her heels echoed down the hall. But her words stayed. By evening, the final lesson began. Not speaking. Not posture. Not voice. Walking. Confidence stripped. Identity bent. Balance stolen. They placed 2 long black runways that intersected like a cross. A track. A stage. A trap. Walk to the end, Alyssa instructed. Turn, pose, return. That's easy in normal shoes. She smirked. These are normal now. I inhaled. Started. Step. Wobble. Recover. Another. Balance. Then. A small tilt of the floor, a piece of tape, something insignificant. My ankle twisted. I fell to my knees. The pain bolted through the bone. The humiliation burned worse. The room was silent. No laughter. Just silence. I expected a taunt. A jab. A smile. But Alyssa approached slower this time. She crouched in front of me, heels beside my collapsed form. You know the difference between humiliation and transformation? She asked. Tears stung my eyes, not from sadness, anger, pain, frustration. What? I hissed. Humiliation makes you smaller, she said softly. Transformation makes you unrecognizable. She didn't say it to mock. She said it like she meant it. Like she believed it. And that was more terrifying than the fall. Because for the first time, I wasn't sure if she was building my downfall. Or building something else. Something worse. Something better. Something I didn't have a name for. I woke up the next morning with a headache. Not from the wine, not from the party, but from the reality that hit me like a brick. Her words haunted me. Tomorrow at 10 sharp, don't be late. I thought maybe she was drunk. Maybe she was bluffing. But at 9:03 a.m., my phone buzzed. Sarah, TikTok princess. Outfit is on the bed. Wear everything. Exactly as it is. No negotiations. The word princess. It didn't sting. It pierced. I opened the box left on my porch. Lipstick pink cropped hoodie, lipstick white pleated skirt, lipstick wig, long brown waves, lipstick stockings, sheer white lipstick, padded bra. Wait. Padded bra. My hands froze. This wasn't a prank anymore. This was a mission. A challenge. But hers, not mine. I stood in front of the mirror. Skirt too short. Stockings too tight. Bra too unfamiliar. Wig too real. I looked like someone I wasn't, yet someone I couldn't deny existed in the reflection. The mirror didn't mock me. It examined me. Judged me. Asked questions I didn't want to answer. Why didn't I immediately take it off? Why didn't I throw the clothes out the window? Why didn't I block her number and leave? Because a small part of me, a silent part, wanted to see what would happen. Maybe curiosity, maybe fear, maybe ego. Maybe something I didn't have the courage to name. Every step toward her house felt like a countdown. Not to humiliation. To transformation. She opened the door before I knocked. Her smirk landed first. Then her words. "You're late, princess." I wasn't late. She was early on purpose. Power move. She circled me like a director inspecting an actor. Except I wasn't acting. Not yet. Terms? I didn't sign anything. She placed a paper on the table, black letters. Sharp words. 0 mercy. Rule number 1, you must follow every instruction. Rule number 2, no backing out. Rule number 3, failure equals consequences decided by me. I laughed nervously. This is a joke, right? Her eyes didn't blink. Sign it. Or I send the pictures to everyone. My blood froze. What pictures? She turned her phone. My reflection. Pink hoodie. White skirt. Smudged lipstick. She took them without me noticing. I wasn't scared of the clothes. I was scared of how not scared I felt wearing them. I signed. She didn't teach me how to walk. She taught me how to be watched. Heels on concrete, skirt brushing thighs, wind daring to expose me. Loosen your arms, she said, tapping my shoulder. Your hips aren't bricks. Let them move. It was humiliating. Embarrassing. But not the way I expected. The humiliation wasn't her laughing at me. It was me realizing I cared whether she approved or not. We heard voices approaching. 3 girls. Her friends. I panicked. No, Sarah, wait please. She leaned close. Her whisper was slow, venomous, calculated. You wanted to prove you could handle anything. So prove it. They turned the corner. Eyes widened. Laughter wasn't immediate. First was confusion. Second, realization. Third, judgment. And then, one of the girls said, "OMG, she's cute." Cute. A word I never associated with myself. A word I never expected to feel. But my heart skipped. Why? I shouldn't have reacted. Sarah didn't attack. She didn't ridicule. She guided. Adjusted my wig. Corrected my posture. Lowered my voice. "Don't talk like you're scared," she said. "Talk like you're hiding power." Was this control? Or coaching? Was she manipulating me? Or molding me? Every question had 2 answers, and both felt true. Later that evening, I tried to return the clothes. She stopped me with only 1 sentence. "You think challenges end after day 1? She handed me another box. Bigger. Heavier. More dangerous. Inside. Perfume, shimmer, powder, nail extensions, another skirt. Shorter, a blouse. Sheer, and a necklace with a small silver charm. A letter engraved S. I looked at it. Then at her. Mine. I asked. She smiled. Deadly sweet. "No, it means you're mine." The challenge wasn't about being a girl. It was about belonging. About control. About seeing how far she could push before I said stop. But here's the problem. I didn't say stop. Not then. Maybe because I couldn't. Maybe because deep down, I didn't want to. I always thought the loudest moment of a fashion show was the applause. Turns out, it's the silence right before it. The backstage air buzzed with perfume, hairspray, nervous whispers, zippers. Heels tapping like warning shots. But inside me, quiet. Not fear. Not panic. Just quiet. The kind you feel right before stepping into a version of yourself you've never met. The show tonight wasn't small. It wasn't for fun. It wasn't a prank anymore. This was the biggest student fashion show in the city, full of influencers, scouts, photographers, an actual career maker. The problem? I wasn't supposed to be here. Not as a model. Not as a girl. Not as her. But I was. And somehow, I was ready. She didn't smirk. She didn't tease. She didn't command. She looked almost proud. You know, Sarah said quietly, the first time I forced you to walk in heels. I laughed softly. I remember. You called me a giraffe. You were a giraffe. But now. Her eyes scanned me, not mocking, not analyzing, assessing like an artist looking at her final piece. Now you're the reason people are excited tonight. Those words hit differently. She wasn't holding power over me. She was handing it back. The stage manager pointed to me. You're opening. Opening? My breath caught. Opening meant one thing. I wasn't a filler model. I was the face. The curtain lifted. The lights exploded like stars. And suddenly, everything that once felt humiliating, felt empowering. People didn't laugh. They didn't whisper. They watched. Hypnotized. Flashes went off like lightning. Every step felt like thunder. I wasn't walking like a boy pretending to be a girl. I wasn't mimicking softness. I was softness. With strength simmering underneath like fire behind glass. The dress hugged me with confidence, the heels no longer felt like a trap, the makeup wasn't a mask anymore, it was war paint, elegance was my armor, attention was my weapon. And for the first time, I didn't walk as her. I walked as me. When I returned backstage, people crowded me. Who is she? Where has she been? Is she signed? Does she have socials? Managers wanted cards exchanged. Makeup artists wanted selfies. Other models wanted to know how long I had been in the industry. A girl with silver braids grabbed my wrist. You owned that walk, you were born for this. And that sentence, that innocent praise, shattered every doubt like glass. Born for this. Born to be seen. Born to be admired. Born to take space. Born to rewrite everything I thought I knew about me. When the chaos cooled, she found me outside near the quiet exit doors, where the air finally smelled real again. No crowd. No spotlight. Just the two of us. Do you remember, she said softly, when all this started because I hated you? I smirked. Oh, trust me, I remember. But, she continued, breath uneven, I didn't expect you to. To what? I stepped closer. Break? Cry? Quit? She shook her head. To transform. Not just physically. Not just socially. Emotionally. And now? I asked. She exhaled, a truce in the air. Now, you don't belong as my rival. For a moment my guard raised. Was she declaring victory? No. She smiled, not a weapon, a confession. You belong on that stage. And somehow, I believed her. Not because she said it. Because tonight proved it. Weeks passed. Not of fear, but of invitations, bookings, shoots. My face, the face I once didn't recognize, was now on poster drafts, clothing campaigns, digital mood boards. People wanted to create with me, not laugh at me. Sarah came to one of my shoots, not as a rival, but as a friend. She sat behind the camera monitor, watching. The photographer paused and asked me directly, what name do we put on the credits? I froze for only half a second. I could say my old name, safe but detached. Or I could say the one the world saw on the runway. The one people applauded. The one I walked into with power. The one I once feared, but now felt like home. I looked into the lens, the black glass that captured versions of us even we don't understand, and said, "Put, Amara." The photographer grinned. Sarah's eyes softened with pride. And for the first time, Amara didn't feel like something I was forced into. She felt like someone I uncovered. Someone who always existed beneath the noise, fear, labels, and expectations. Someone I finally allowed to breathe. I used to think identity was a locked box. One key, one answer, one path. Turns out, it's clay. It molds with experience. It shifts with discovery. It strengthens with courage. I wasn't changed. I was revealed. Sometimes life pushes us, harshly, unfairly, unexpectedly, but sometimes that push knocks down the wall that blocked the real path. So if there's one thing I learned, don't fear moments that change you. Fear refusing to change at all. I was forced to model as a girl for my rival. But in the end, I became the girl who didn't need a rival to shine. I chose the light, and I'm never stepping off that stage again.